A poor boy was sitting by the side of the road eating his lunch. It was just a piece of bread, but he was so hungry that it tasted like the most delicious food in the world. Suddenly, a stranger approached him and asked for some of his lunch. The boy hesitated, knowing that if he gave away his bread, he would go hungry. But after some thought, he decided to break the bread in half and give half of it to the stranger. After the stranger left, the boy felt a sense of calm and happiness that he couldn't understand. He continued on his way, and soon enough, he came across a beautiful field with a white fence around it. And at the other end of the fence, he saw the most amazing castle he had ever seen. The boy thought to himself, "I wonder if the king would give me some food." Just then, a royal guard came over to the fence and asked what the boy wanted. The boy politely asked if he could give him some food, and the guard said, "You may enter the kingdom and receive whatever you desire, but only if you are able to answer a riddle correctly." The boy agreed and entered the kingdom. Inside, everything was made of pure gold, and the walls were adorned with beautiful paintings. He was led into a magnificent hall where all the food one could eat was served on golden plates. There were also beautiful girls serving wine and fruit. The boy enjoyed it all, but he didn't forget about the riddle. He asked the king, "May I know what the question is?" The king replied, "It is this. What did the boy give to the beggar? What do you think?" The boy was confused and didn't understand what the king was asking. He had given the beggar half of his bread, but how could the king know that? Then he remembered the words of the royal guard who had said that he would receive whatever he desired. If the boy had kept quiet, he could have gotten anything he wanted. But now the king looked disappointed and said, "Since you cannot answer the question, you must leave without your head." The boy became very scared and started to cry. He begged the king for another chance, promising that he would answer correctly next time. But the king was a just ruler and did not want to break his word, so he ordered the executioner to take the boy outside and behead him. As they were taking him out, the boy looked back at the magnificent hall for one last time and noticed a beautiful princess sitting there. She was so lovely that he couldn't take his eyes off her. The princess also looked at the boy and signaled to one of the servants to follow him and find out what had happened. When the servant returned, the princess asked him, "Did you find out what happened?" The servant told her everything, and she immediately got on her horse and rode as fast as she could to the place where the boy was going to be beheaded. Meanwhile, the executioner was getting ready to carry out his duty. He was a kind man and felt sorry for the boy, so he asked if the boy would like to have his eyes closed during the execution. The boy was too scared to say anything, so he just nodded his head. Suddenly, the princess arrived and shouted, "Stop! Executioner! I want this boy to live!" Everyone was surprised and wondered why the princess had come. She stepped forward and asked the king, "Please let this boy live, and instead of putting his head on the chopping block, let him be put inside the dungeon for the rest of his life." The king agreed to her request, and the princess took the boy to an empty cell in the dungeon. Every day she would come to see him and bring him food and water. The boy didn't ask for anything else, because he was so grateful for her kindness. After a while, the princess fell in love with the boy, and one day she asked him, "Will you marry me?" "Of course," he agreed, and they were married inside the dungeon. Every night they would embrace each other and sleep, dreaming of the day when they would be set free.